Howdy, howdy, Mystery Marunos. How is everyone today? Another Friday. Are you guys all excited to draw? I think you guys are all excited to draw, since I am all excited to draw. We are drawing a fun character request today. And actually, part of the reason we're drawing her today is because she's right here. It's Luna Lovegood. Sorry, my camera won't focus on her because I said on the focusing on my art. Yeah, Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. Hi, hi. She's our buddy today. So we're going to be drawing her today on a Friday. Oops, I forgot to move something out of my way. Move out of my way. All right, cool. I think we're good. Hopefully we're good. Sorry guys, I'm just shifting something right beside the camera. Hopefully it won't shake it too much. Still good. We're shifting, we're moving. We are making a mess of our setup. That's exactly what we want to do. There we go. Now we're good. So Luna Lovegood. We're going to start with our favorite shape, the circle. The shape we always start with. So we have our circle. And we're going to draw a line down the middle. And we're going to give her a pretty big forehead today, so the line across will be quite low. And that is our setup for today. Circle. That's it. We're done. We can go home. Just joking. All right, so once we draw the circle, we're just going to set up her body. She will be standing quite forward. So the circle for her neck, her shoulders, and we're going to do a cylinder for her body. And we're just going to move this line all the way down so that way we know where the center of her body is. And that is our basic shape today. I am doing okay. How are you doing? And now we need to give her 2 little feet. So I'm just going to extend this line and just curve it in a little on both sides. And this will be for her feet. I'm just going to do 2 simple cylinders. She's going to be standing quite forward today. And then I'm going to draw 2 little kind of curved triangles for her little footsies. So that's just the basic pose we have going for her today. And then we're going to do a cylinder going out to the side here because we're going to have her arm going out. And this is about where her elbow would be. And the other hand, we just want it going down to the side. So about the length that this cylinder is, we're going to do another cylinder right here. She wears a baggy cloak, so that's why I'm just doing longer cylinders for her arms today. And we're going to draw a little wand in this hand right here. So we're going to do a circle for her fist, and then a smaller circle for her thumb. So it looks just like that. She's coming together. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear about your car being stolen. That is not fun at all. I hope there is a solution to that. That sounds awful. I don't own a car, but if I did, that's definitely something I would hate to happen. Doesn't sound fun at all. And now, this hand right here, I want you guys to do a little triangle, curved triangle, going like that, because we're going to have her hand going slightly popped upwards, and then do a little cylinder right here for her thumb. And right here, you guys can draw a line that's going to be the wand later on, but just so you can see how she's going to be holding it. So now that we have this basic shape, we can move back to her head. And we can start the placement for her eyes. So I'm going to do 2 circles where I feel her eyes should sit. And then we have the line down the middle to try to make sure they are evenly spaced apart. And we could give her a little cute button nose. And we're going to draw her mouth as an upside down little half circle in a line, just to show that her mouth is slightly open. We're kind of following our pose right here, our little friend who has come out to join us today. So now that we have this basic pose, we could start working out some of the details. Like the top of her eye, we could add her eyelid. And I'm just going to add a point right here to the circle. And I'm going to curve it. So I'm carving out the shape of the eye from that circle, so you can tell it's becoming a little more cylinder. And I'm going to give her a little eyelash right here. Alrighties, and now we could have her drawing, looking to the side. So we're going to draw a little circle for the inside of her eye. And then a little reflection for the reflection of her eye. Then we could give her a little eyebrow, which is a half circle following the basic shape of her eye. And that's the start of our Luna Lovegood. And we want to draw her with her lion's mane. So I'm going to go to the side of her face right here. And I'm just going to give her a little bit of a cheek. Round it back inwards. Little bit of a cheek and round it back inwards. And I'm going to give her 2 little eyelashes just right here. You could look cute. Give her a little eyelash. And now I can start figuring out the lion's mane. So I'm going to draw a cylinder for the snout. And I could draw the nose right here. I'm just going to carve out the nose from the cylinder. So it's going to get a little less round at the top. And then I'm going to continue the line forward to add his mouth right here. So that's the snout right there. She does look worried, but she always usually looks a little bit worried, doesn't she? Oh, I want a pair of her glasses too. They're so cool. I really like Luna. So this is the Luna we're working on today because I like her with her lion mask. So we're drawing her with her lion mask. And right to the side here, we're going to draw her little fangs for her mask. And then we are going to curve it back. And connect it back. And now we can start figuring out the rest of the mask. So we want it to sit above her head. So we're going to move the lion's part of his head right here. And we're going to loop it back and connect it to the sides here. And then we are going to add a little slightly rounded circle oval for the eyes on both sides. Now you add little whiskers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Someone asked, what's the story with the lion mask? You know what? I totally forget right now. I will be honest. My brain is somewhere else. And we're going to draw little circles. So he looks like kind of like he's googly-eyed looking inwards. Reflection, and then make it black. Little reflection, and then make it black. Alrighties, and then I'm going to draw a little half circle for the ear. And another half circle for the inside of the ear. And then the little earring. And now we could draw the lion's mane. So we're just going to add a big floof. Like I don't know if you guys watched the previous ones, when we draw fur, we draw quite random little pieces. And we don't draw every detail. So just random little pieces that connect together, little tiny cylinders going which way. Very simple. We don't do a lot of details. Makes her look like she has a little goatee right now, but it won't afterwards. And at the top as well. Cylinders going every other which way. And this is the middle, so I parted it in the middle. And continue making cylinders going every which way. Just going to puff it out a bit more on the sides here. Felt it was not going out puffy enough on the sides, so I puffed it out more. There we go. Our little goatee. Someone asked, why doesn't the reflection on the mask match the reflection in her eyes? I don't know. Because it's not looking the same direction. It's looking down here. And it's from the top, so most likely if the light source is right here, the reflection will be there. Now I'm just going to draw the inside circle of her eye. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Part of it is because I felt like drawing it that way to get the eyes looking the way I wanted the eyes to look. Really, you should follow the reflections all going the same direction. Really, you should. But for the cuteness of this piece, I want the reflections in a certain place. So it doesn't bother me. She looks like she has a little goatee. Now we can draw her cloak. So her cloak goes over here, follows the direction of her arms, and then goes past her arms and then connects back. And same this way. Connects back. And then we can make her cloak going out to the side like on my toy. So cloak goes out to the side. Cloak goes out to the side. And actually these two lines can connect to each other. There you go. Someone answered, the eyes on the mask never look like realistic eyes. Yes, exactly. They're little drawn eyes on her little reflection. I like that answer. I'll steal it. And then her sweater has a little line detail right here. And then she has a kilt. It's a layered skirt. And when you do the layers of the skirt, try to make sure they don't line up with the legs, which I kind of did. Just because it looks a little bit better. And now we could go down to her feet. And I'm just going to extend them just a little past what I did. And we can round them back up and give her little shoesies. Little slip-on shoesies. And there's our little Luna Lovegood today. Missing her arms, per se. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. So now she has a little fist. And connect it back in. And then we're going to go out into a cylinder, going from shorter a little and a little wider. So not as wide. And then we will follow along here, and there's a little circle right here, circle detail. And then we can go up. And there we have our wand. Woohoo, she has a wand. And then we could go to her thumb right here and then do 1, 2, and 3 lines. So it looks like her fingers are kind of pointed upwards. I don't know if you can see that. 1, 2, 3. Now we really do have a Luna Lovegood. Woohoo! Woohoo! We're getting somewhere. I was supposed to ask my paper towel, and it's actually just up here. Eggy fail. So now we grab whatever we want to use to ink the lines. So whether it be black or purple, which I like to use my purple, but whatever you want to use the line to ink your lines, grab that. Because now, dum 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 dum, we shall ink our little Luna Lovegood. Give me 1 second just to check a little detail from the actual Luna Lovegood and the mask. Luna Lovegood lion mask. Just want to see if her hair actually comes out on the actual image. Oh, she does have hair. Let's give her poofy hair because that's what's bugging me. I think I want her poofy hair in there. So behind here, I'm just going to add her poofy hair. So it looks like she has her hair coming out from behind the mask. She has curly hair, so it's just waves. And it goes right here. It's just sneaking through, popping out. There we go. I think that's what she was missing. All right, now we can do this. She has her little lion hat on. We're good to go. So let's start with whatever's at the top, like the nose. And the circle for the snout. We're going to blacken up. Our purple is our black, so we're going to blacken that up. And go down. And give him a little smile because our lion is happy. It's a little bit of a smile. Now we could add the little tooth on one side and add the tooth on the other side. And the mask, so we could wrap it up and around. And over to this side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 whiskers. And the eye. Little eye on our little lion. And the second eye on our lion. Yay! And we could add the little ear. And the other ear with the little earring right there. Now outline her head and go around. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. And connect it back. So I usually start with the part that's always above if I can, mainly because I want to make sure that I don't by accident ink something that I shouldn't be inking. So now we could go over to her eyes. And I'm just going to shape her eyes when I ink just a little bit more. Her eyelash. Round it back up. Picking it up. Move up her eyelash. I'm going to add 3 here. 1, 2, and 3. And then go to her eyebrows and making sure that they are behind the teeth because we don't want to by accident put it up front. Now we can move over and we're going to ink the eyes, and we're trying to keep our lines very delicate because we don't want to overpower when we do the eyes. And add the little reflection. And we could ink the black in her eye. Trying to be quite delicate with our lines. Trying to have as much control as we can with our brush. If you have a pencil crayon, you might have a little more control sometimes, depending on what tool you are used to using. The more you get used to a tool, the more control you have over it. Her little button nose and her little mouth. Our Luna Lovegood today. I'm just going to thicken these up just a bit more. There we go. And now we can start working what's on the lines made. I'm just going to move here so I don't by accident put my hand in anything that still might be a little bit wet. Let me just move that little eraser shavings out of the way. Yay, and we go down the lines made. And now, guys, I'm going to go, I know I'm flipping it all the way around. So now I can ink this side. Just makes it easier so I don't accidentally put my hand into anything I don't want to put my hand in and then make a mess of the inks. So a lot of turning around, making sure to be careful. Flipping it back. Now we can move over here where I have her little fist, so I could carve out her little thumb. And 1, 2, 3. So now she has 4 fingers, and I connect the fist back to where the shirt is, her cloak. Move the cloak back up. And I'm going to outline her wand. And back up, around. And her hair. The bottom, it sticks out here. Oops, my brush did its own thing there. Well, it happens. Adds an effect, doesn't it? We don't mind at all. We go back up and back up. Over here and back up. And go over to this side. And I could do her hair here. Curve that upwards. This part's hidden behind her cloak. Hidden behind her cloak. So now we have her thumb sticking out here. Remember, guys, we curve the lines up here going 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one connects. So that way it looks like her hand is going out to the side. Her shirt detail. Bottom of her skirt. I'm going to do a line right here and lines right here. And her little feet, I'm actually going to, now that I'm inking it, her feet feel a little short to me. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend my ink lines just a little more on my drawing and put her feet a little bit lower because they feel a little bit short. So I'm making that adjustment. I'm working on a flat, yeah, that looks better. I'm working from an angle that I can't always see the proportions properly. Whenever you're drawing, you want to make sure to lift up your drawing and look at it so you're looking at it straight. So if I'm looking at it straight, this is my straight angle. So you can see I'm working on a angle that's a little tough to sometimes see the proportions. So always lift up your drawing, look at it, make sure everything looks right before you make any final changes. Or like me, you saw a mistake and you caught it before you inked, so you fixed it. Now I'm just giving it a second while I grab my coffee because I'm going to erase. So I got my eraser here. You can tell it's a very nicely used eraser. And I think it's all dry. Remember, guys, I was telling you guys before, if you want to make sure something's dry, lift it up. See if it's reflecting. If it's not reflecting any light, it's dry. And then you can erase, 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 erase. Erase, erase, erase. Sing the erasing song. Collect your rubbish. And it's like, all right, get down to the feet. Collecting all the rubbish. And if you guys are wondering, when you erase, if you take your eraser and you dab where you have the eraser shavings, most of the erasers can collect a little bit of them, so it's a little easier cleaning up, and then use your hand and clean up the rest of it. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Then, I should have got this ready beforehand. Grab your brush. There's my brush. Oops, my pencil case I try to fall over. Grab your water. Move my little friend over just so I don't smack her with my water a couple times. So now we get to watercoloring. Woohoo! So I'm going to grab a peach color that I have. If you have a sand color, you can mix it with a bit of a pink or red. It'll also help you create that peach. And I'm going to start with her face. And round it over this way. And underneath. Take away some of the color, add more water so that way I could fade out color in the middle, because that's where the most of the light would be hitting. It's definitely darker under the mask and around the bottom of her face, because that's how light works. And there's our little light source. The eraser is our light source right here. You can see it. And we'll go over to her hands. Add a little more color. And her other hand. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Cool. So now that we got that going, we can mix up a yellowy orange for our lion. So let's make it yellow. Call it mellow yellow. Of course, you gotta have a little singing for me while I draw. Wouldn't be any different. And now we could do the lion. Quite yellow lion. And swing over to this side. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Lion, lion, lion. Paint, paint, paint. His little snout. You can tell I'm going to go a little lighter here. That's where the light's most likely hitting the strongest. And there. So we got the base for our lion down now. Rawr, rawr. Now we need the blue. Where's our blue? There's our blue. We need to grab some blue, guys, because her eyes are blue. We're going to give her blue eyes. Luna Lovegood is actually one of my favorite characters. I love how weird she is. Makes me happy since I'm also a little bit weird. And let's give her the little earring. I'm gonna make it, it's not supposed to be gold, so let's make it very yellow. Yellow. So now her outfit is a combination of different grays. So this will be the darkest gray. This will be almost black. And then these will be a little bit lighter. So let's go try to mix up a darker gray first. And I want her cloak, and this is where we could play around with shades of gray as well. Her outside cloak, I'm going to make it more of a blue. Move this over so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my gray, which does have this is actually black, has a tint of brown to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix, which my blue's almost out, I'm going to refill that, a bit of blue into that black to give it that blue-gray feeling, because I'm going to be playing around with the variations of the grays. So now my gray, I can actually pretty much see that it does have a more of a blue hint to it. I'm going to loop this over right here, because now I could bring back my drawing. And now I'm going to make this a nice blue-gray. And once we start getting to the gray browns underneath, you'll really see the difference. And that's one way, especially if you're playing around with different shades of gray, how you at home can learn all the colors and colors theory to figure out what shades to do something and also add that variation. Because it can get a little bit tricky if a character has a lot of grays and you want to figure out how to make everything stand out. There we go. You can tell where I want it lighter. I add a lot more water. Just so that way there is contrast and a bit more personality. And just the colors. I know colors can have personality, guys. And I'm going to use the same base for her tight, but I'm going to be using it a little bit lighter. So you'll notice that it's not going to be as dark as this part right here. Because I want to make sure that her shoes are darker. So we're going to give that a second to dry. And in the meantime, we're going to move her out of the way, and we're going to turn the gray into a brown gray. So my gray already has a hint of brown in it. You could already see the difference, right? So that, but I wanted a little more gray. So right here, I do have a dark gray. I'm just going to mix a little bit of that into my black. So now you can see it does have a nice hint of brown, but it still feels black. So that's just one way that we're going to be playing with the variations. And we're going to be adding that to her skirt. And if it feels a little too brown, just mix back some of that black. All right, and I'm just gonna make her shirt the gray brown. So you can see everything feels like it's a variation of black, but one is definitely more brown and one's definitely more blue. Now for her shoes, they're gonna be quite dark. Oh, hi Otis. Good morning, dog. Dog just started walking around behind me. Now I'm going to darken up her shoes because I want her shoes to read quite dark. Here she has little shoesies. Little shoesies. Rush of customers at work is always good to have. And now I'm going to mix up brown because I want her one to be a nice shade of brown. And now for her mane, I'm going to make it slightly, can't show Otis. Otis will destroy my camera setup and you guys can see the mess that is my desk, which I am hiding from you guys. You're not allowed to see the mess that is my desk. I have a quite messy desk right now. Bad habit of an artist. Actually, you know what? It's not horribly messy. It's just there's pens out and markers and all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm mixing up a light orange for the mane. So the orange will have hints of orange and brown. And I'm definitely going to darken it afterwards. But right now I think this orange is all right for what I need. For an Otis chat stream. That would be something. He just kind of flops. Otis doesn't do much. He's a very mellow dog. He flops very easily. He loves pets. He will flop into pets. He likes sleeping. Occasionally gets a little burst of energy, which I think is always super cute. But his burst of energy only lasts like 5 minutes, guys. When I say burst of energy, my dog is not very energetic and is old. Actually, he was never a very crazy dog. My dogs have always been quite mellow. Olive was definitely a crazier puppy than Otis. My dogs are always, I think I got lucky. They're always kind of well behaved. Other than Otis doesn't always like other dogs. That's definitely his downfall. Right, Otis? You don't make friends easily. You're very judgmental. He's a very insecure dog. He's kind of a chicken shit. Chicken? Who's my little chicken? You're my little chicken, Otis? Otis is scared of just about everything, guys. Alrighties, just making sure it's dry because her hair is yellow, blonde. So I want to mix up a bit of yellow for her blonde hair back here. All right. And now, since we have all our base colors, we can start with some of the shading. So her face, I'm going to use the reds and purples for some of the shadow shadings, which I'm mixing up. So underneath here, we're definitely going to have a shadow cast by the mask. So we got to move around and get that shadow that the mask is most definitely casting. And also move it down because the lower part of her face most likely has a bit more shadow as well. But we gotta make sure, make it a little bit darker. Someone asked an Otis question. So what's it like growing up with a creator as a parent? And Otis says, give me a snack. He is very happy to have a creator as a parent since most of the time I do work from home. Even when I'm employed by companies, my workspace is my home. So Dog quite enjoys that. Definitely, I don't think he enjoys my traveling part, but he's been quite happy during this pandemic because I can't really travel. But I'm lucky enough to have amazing sitter for Otis back in Toronto and here in LA. So it's like for him, him and Olive both don't mind going to the sitter because it's like going on vacation for them. They're very well taken care of and spoiled. So when I drop them off, they just kind of run off and make themselves at home and completely forget about me. That's how much my dogs love me when I drop them off at the sitter. So you guys can see now we have a nice shadow where her mask is. Just going to add a bit of purple in her eyes just to add more contrast up here. So that way her eyes get darker as they have a little bit of the shadow cast from their upper lid and adds more character this way. Here we go. Did I travel with my dogs when they were younger? Actually, not really. The dogs have gone to a couple of conventions, but they're only conventions that I can drive to if I have my friend with me or anything like that. They actually came to Palm Springs with me. My friend who was helping me, Mickey, was kind enough to drive our bums over there. We had a really fun weekend together. The dogs have also accompanied me to Long Beach Comic-Con, Long Beach Expo, the one that's in February. The Long Beach organizers are fabulous. They're very accommodating. Because sometimes I can't do back-to-back shows because I don't personally like leaving my dogs away too long. So if it is a back-to-back convention, it depends on the circumstances and depends on how many shows I'm doing if I am able to do those shows. But when a convention's like, yeah, you could bring your dogs, it makes it a lot easier if I have a friend helping me who can help me take care of the dogs. Because when it gets busy at a convention, it's a little difficult to. But most of the time, you would not even know I have my dogs at a convention because they're just passed out the whole time and don't make a peep. I have good dogs. So you guys can see I'm adding a lot of shadows. I mixed up some orange. I'm going to mix up a little bit of brown purple for the mane. So I'm just adding a little purple and a little brown because I want to darken up the mane. And it's a little too brown. There we go. That looks a little bit better. I might need a little hint of red there. There we go. I like that better already. Let's add a little more red to that brown. And a lot of times when you're painting, guys, when you start understanding color theory, you're able to make choices very quickly on adjusting the colors, what's needed. And that's all studying the color wheel and color theory, which I have mentioned a couple of times as well, because those are very important, especially when you're learning to color, understanding why those colors work well together. So it's always something you need knowledge of. So if you haven't been practicing color theory or studying it, I do recommend, because it's going to help you a lot. A lot. Someone asked, what's one thing you miss and not miss about being able to go to conventions this year? I miss a lot about conventions. The thing I think I miss the most is I miss interacting with the fans. I actually have a very enjoyable time interacting with the fans, and that is one of my most favorite parts. So I definitely miss it a lot. I miss seeing a lot of my convention family, my friends that I only see at conventions. We get to hang out, catch up, and I miss going to new places. I really love traveling. Traveling is not something I did a lot when I was a kid, just because the opportunity wasn't there for me to travel. So I've been kind of making up for the lack of travel when I was younger as an adult. So I really miss traveling and seeing new places. I don't miss the stress of traveling. Prepping for a convention is extremely time consuming and stressful. So I definitely don't think I missed that part. It's because it's a lot of work, and it's always rushing to get through deadlines. Because the one thing I really don't like, and it's mainly because my body it's really hard on my body, is doing deadlines during conventions, because of how much I already draw during the convention hours, that I don't want to be drawing in the hotel room. My body needs that break to recover. Otherwise, there will be casualties. You guys can see can you see the bruise? Yeah, you can see my little bruise. That's my muscle got a little too tense, and I can't see my massage therapist and acupuncturist right now. So I can only use my home massager, but if my arm is quite tense, it bruises up my arm a little. So that's how you know I've been working a lot of deadlines. You ever see bruises on my arm? So that is why I actually don't take any commissions at conventions, other than during the show hours. We need a break. Break's nice. How do you define the size of a head? These kind of drawings, like a bobblehead kind of look. For if you're drawing really cutesy, it's always about the proportions. The body should be maybe about, the head might be like 4 fingers and the body give or take 3. A lot of it is eyeballing in what you feel comfortable and what you think is cute. But usually if you're drawing chibi, the body and the head should be of similar size. And that's only if you're drawing really cute figures like I am. Well, luckily, I do have helpers. Not my friends help me set up my stuff for me. And I'm just adding purple, guys, right now to highlight some of the definition. I don't do conventions alone. They're too difficult and too stressful. I always have an assistant. The reason why is that way I can solely focus on fan interaction, and everything else is taken care of by whoever assists me at a show. So I don't do shows solo, and I will not do shows solo, because there's no way I can have the personal fan interaction I can have at a show if I'm doing everything myself. So I just stopped. So if I don't have the opportunity to bring an assistant or a helper, I actually cannot do a convention, because it's just way too much. And if I did that, you guys would not be able to have the opportunities that you have when we meet at shows. I would not be able to interact with you. My head would be down the whole time. And I don't want that. I want to meet my fans. I want to talk to you guys. I want to see kids and learn what they like. And the only way I'm able to do that is having an assistant. So I actually have not done a convention solo in about maybe 4+ years now, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. If I wanted to stay home and work, then I would stay home and work. Conventions are there for the interactions. They're for you guys and the bonding time we have together. So I just added some yellow into the hair. And let's add a little purple blue right here for the fangs. Alrighties. And just a little bit of blue hinting right there. Just a little. So look, she's really coming together now. She's almost done. Let's add a little purple for the ground. Let me just move this up. So now she has a shadow under her. And now that it's a little more dry, I'm just going to grab my purple one more time. And I'm just going to darken up the line right here that connects some of the darker spots just to add a little more dimension. So I'm just darkening up some of those original lines. Just I like to do that when I work with really dark colors. In just some of those places where they get pretty dark, just to add a little more depth, especially if I'm working with an inking color that isn't black. So you can see it just adds a little more definition that way. And I think I'm going to add a little blue, nice light blue to the background here. Let me mix that up. A little blues right there. Mix, mix, mix. You can see my blue. I'm just putting it in my palette. And then I could add the blue around her. It's a nice blue, pops her eyes. And we will fade it out. We're almost done, guys. Get that blue fading out, moving upwards. Our favorite little progression. Remember, guys, just add more water to fade out the color. Then flip it around. Painting upside down. The reason I flip it around is I don't want to put my hand on the drawing because I know it's wet where the blue is. So I'd rather just do this upside down and then worry about what happens to my drawing. Alrighty. And what do we do when we're done a drawing, guys? We have to sign it. So get over signing. And I'm signing on this side because I know this side is dry. And finito, home slice. So there's our drawing today. We did Luna Lovegood, working with some dark colors and some browns. Got it all finished. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again on Friday. Is it the last Friday? Or do we have, I don't know how many Fridays we have. I think we only have one more Friday of our time with Aggie left. And if you guys haven't already, feel free to check out my Patreon, because you get exclusive posts there, early access, all sorts of fun stuff, and it starts at just $1. So check that out if you don't mind. Until then, I shall see you on Friday. Thank you so much, guys. Keep safe, wash your hands, be good to each other, and thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, guys.